Priest Father Bob Macguire delivered his very last sermon on the weekend after 50 years of service. He's been forced into retirement by the Catholic Church because of his age.
Father Bob had campaigned tirelessly in an attempt to stay on in his job, but was unsuccessful. He joins us now in the studio. Yesterday
was your. Two?
We're very well. How are you?
Yeah, all right.
That was going to be my first question.
Yesterday
was your last.
How do I look?
Was your last mass?
While I'm in charge, you see.
Can you still?
Because I'm not in charge and I'm a control freak.
Right.
Which means that I'm now free range.
Can you still give mass?
Well, allegedly, yeah, I still got the licence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good.
I'm allowed to do. I'm still a Catholic priest, but I'm not in charge of anything.
How did it feel giving that last sermon in South Melbourne?
It was. The old place has been so good to me because it's 150 years old. A lot of things have happened there over the last 40 years. You know, we've seen a lot of people off. Done lots of lovely weddings, lots of lovely baptisms. We've done all those nice things in the place, and also it's been a sad place, but it's helped me to grow up. You know, so I'm going to have to grow up quicker. You see, 77.
You're only 77.
Only 77, and a terrible lot to learn. You see, so I've got to go down the street. I'm still a parishioner technically.
Yeah.
But in fact, I won't be able to yell and scream at people and tell them what I think Jesus is on about. I'll shut my mouth. Leave that to Julian Messina and his team, who are the next mob in, and then. But I've got a foundation, which I've had something like a foundation for the last 30 years. When we started working with street kids in St Kilda in the 70s, and then that's evolved into, unfortunately, named after me, the Father Bob Macguire Foundation.
Pretty good name.
Well, it's got to be like something like the Parish Without Borders now.
Oh, it does too.
You see what I mean?
Well, so what do you feel about the Catholic Church moving you and other older priests on?
Yeah.
You obviously.
Well, in the Age this morning, apparently, there's me with my mug and boxing gloves or something. There's somebody hung round my neck yesterday on the way out. You don't know, do you? What's written on them, you know? So I
think the words don't go with it.
I think there's something they were all right, but they weren't abusive, thank God, to the bosses. But on the way out, I was thinking to myself, geez, this has got to be the beginning, not the end. You know, I mean, it was almost like a funeral. People standing up and saying, oh, yes, he was this and he was that. And they had to pinch myself to see if I was still alive, you know. But, I mean, the next episode, I think's got to involve not me with the public, which you've been so kind to shove me into the public. I mean, I've never rung anybody up and say, excuse me, can I come on your show? People ringing me up, well, then maybe we better form a strategic alliance to get on with doing some good things.
Maybe
you know what I mean? So, I mean, come Waltzing Matilda with Bob. You know what I mean?
Sung to the version of a hymn.
Isn't that all right?
With like a hymn version as
well. Something, you know,
something like
come
that.
a waltzing, you know what I mean? And the poor old swagman, of course, jumps in doesn't he?
Yeah.
In the billabong. Well, I suppose I jumped into it.
Right. You could resurrect the swagman.
Well, I got out, thank God, and I'm waltzing down the street. But the poor old foundation wants to keep going and doing better things. So I'm sorry to lose the pulpit. In other words, I can't keep saying what the founder of the firm says so easily in public. But I'll just have to show what the founder of the firm says, you know.
And you'll have the time to do that now.
Well, how do you know it's 77? This could be, you know, even on your show, this could be the last
I wouldn't have thought
performance,
so.
you know. But we'll do our best. We'll take the pills and eat the vegetables and mainly try to keep a sense of humour because once you become bitter, you see,
Did you ever get bitter? Did you ever harbour bitter thoughts about what the church was doing to you?
A few times. When you live on your own, you see there's always these invasive negative thoughts as people warn us against. If you had a wife or a partner and children or something, they could... I wish, you know, I had have had Jessica Rudd on my side.
Why is that?
Well, she could have stood up for you or something as a woman and said, hey, listen, my father... You know, and I told my dad, don't go to that meeting, don't go... You know, you'd have somebody chirping...
Right.
And then she tells the story.
Right.
Because you can't tell your own story, you're too close to it.
But you had an entire congregation to do that for you, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true. But I don't want them to waste their time or or the public waste its time on me, you know, don't cry for me. Because there's so many people out there who need... let's be compassionate to the person next to us. That would be my last will and testament.
So do you harbour any ill feeling towards the church for when you retired?
No, it's our church. It's my mother. I mean, she started all this. It's her church.
You're
it's
a
my
company
church.
man still.
I'm a company man, you see. I'm orthodox, but I'm conventional. So there's going to be no, what frightens the bosses, you know, is it going to be South Brisbane again, or is it going to be Redfern? No, sorry about that, you know. Some bloke told me in the car driving me this morning to some place, he said, oh, the media is always looking for something divisive against the church. Well, that's not true. That's not true in this case. We've been more constructive than destructive. So I'm very grateful to the media.
Yeah, so do you think this has been good publicity or bad publicity for the Catholic Church?
I think it's good insofar as they can see... Well, I mean, the tank didn't roll over the top of me, you know. I'm not dead flat on the ground. We're still talking. So, in fact, I think that's the same. If people take an interest in their local religion, whether it's Buddhism, whatever it is, they should let the 99% start marching up to the barricades, not with violence, but with intelligence and humour.